So let's talk about core wounds. Let's talk about what they are, how they impact our lives, and how we, by becoming aware of it, how we can change them in order to operate differently in the world. Core wounds, I like to personally define as the wounding that occurs in the very onset of life from ages 0 through 7 typically, and even inside of the womb, carrying the wounds of your mother, father figures and generations behind that continue to pass on this DNA, so to speak. Core wounds really affect us in so many ways, as this is the main operating system that we have, right? And if we operate 95 to 98% from our subconscious mind, meaning the imprints that were given between the age of 0 and 7 predominantly in this lifetime, that means that whatever we learn from our parents or environments or culture, it's all these imprints. And so let's say that a core wound could be, I'm not important because your dad abandoned you, right? And there's that abandonment wound. There's also, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I am too much, I am not enough. These are the typical core wounding that across the board, all of us in this world tend to have, or most of us, I shall say. This really gives us an opportunity to take a look at them. And how do we take a look at them? Well, there's one of few ways. And one of the ways that I like to go down all the way into the root of what's causing the whole thing is, first of all, experiencing the trigger or experiencing the fear, which makes me contract, or if something makes you contract, that's the opportunity right there to take a look at what it is that you've been believing. And then from what it is that you've been believing, you can go all the way down below that to find out what the core wounding is that is making you believe that thing, and then being able to change your belief about it. If, for instance, I've been believing that I'm not lovable, the way that I'm going to operate in the world is one that I'm always trying to prove something and get the validation from somebody else to prove that I am lovable because I believe that I'm actually not lovable, right? And this is so important as we go through the world to really go into the inner standing and to work from within so that our outside world changes, because from a physics standpoint or quantum physics standpoint, we are the projector, right? We're the ones that are carrying the film, the story, and it projects out into the world. And that story and that film will be reflected back to you. And when that film is reflected back to you, it's just reinforcing what it is that you believe. So if you have a different belief, then that story and that film and the things around you will change. I really encourage you that whenever you experience a trigger, to ask yourself, what is it that I'm believing? And write down and journal about it. And if you get to a point where you're a little stuck, there's also other techniques like EFT that you can go into. And if you need somebody to help you with EFT, I'm a practitioner, or find somebody in your area that does EFT, which is emotional freedom technique that allows you to tap into the core, the roots of the problem, really, and allows you to love and accept those parts of you that have ever been shamed, wrong, rejected, and give love to those parts of you that never got to feel. Because it's in the feeling that you heal it. When you feel it, you heal it. And I'm sure you've heard of that, but that is part of the truth, because you're holding on to energy that you haven't emoted. And in the emotion of that feeling, it's energy in motion, right? And so you get to clear that space so that you can come back into a less charged space so that you can create anew. But first is the acceptance, the forgiveness, and then the opening to create anew.